And welcome. We are live with my good friend Kenny, and we are starting our Merman drawing for this week. Welcome to our motu 52 as we move sequentially through our 52 selected. I'll say selected because we could keep going on to the end of time. Selected Masters of the Universe characters. They seem endless, and I feel like there's new ones coming out every week. So welcome, Kenny. How are we doing?
Doing pretty good. Happy holidays to everyone in the audience right now, Facebook, YouTube. I'm hoping that you guys are having a great holiday season, and thank you for joining us on this little journey that Will and I are going on with the Masters of the Universe.
The journey of many. Many themes. So on the screen now, we've got our 52 characters we're moving through. We've cracked on the head Beastman. We did He-Man, which was it felt like we did a month on He-Man. It came, I suppose, at a tricky time of the year too, so that's understandable. And we're up to Merman and then Man-at-Arms, and I think we're going to start probably hit a bit of a stride as we start moving through it. I'm going to bring up onto the screen. Here we are. There's Merman. So this is the original illustrations or concept illustrations that came with the toys, and the collect them all sort of images that came out that we all saw growing up in the 80s. So I'm going to be basing mine off the original illustration. Kenny, where are you drawing your inspiration from for this one?
I'm going to do something loosely based off of the toy.
Yep.
I do like some of the iterations that I've seen online. I do also like the version that comes with the trident as opposed to the sea sword.
Yep.
And, the corn. The corn on the cob.
The corn on the cob and a hilt.
And I think I'm gonna go with more of a bluer color palette.
Yes, I think this green here. I think was more of an updated version. I think the original one had that sort of that real bottle green color, didn't he?
Yeah.
Although I remember the toy I had was just kind of green.
Yeah. It like leaned more into like the teal.
Yeah.
And
much
like
cooler palette.
Yeah, it was a great palette. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with today. Perfect. So I'm doing. I don't know where you are on your progress, but I am laying in currently my rough composition.
That's where I'm at today. I'll probably get through just pencils today, I think.
Yeah, same. So
I did a few little. This is what I do on my little book.
Ooh,
just playing around with different poses, and I guess I was more sort of wanting him. We talked about this last time. A little bit creature from the Black Lagoons, kind of emerging from the ocean. So I'm going to have him coming out of the ocean with his corn cob,
ready for barbecue.
And for those playing at home, that's his sword. And and then I'm going to have a few tentacles sort of wrapping around his legs. So.
That's a great one. That one I really, really like a lot, and I feel like there's a lot of energy in that composition, in that pose. It's great.
Yeah, thanks, man. It took like most things, it takes a little while to play around with, doesn't it, until you get the right thing. But yeah, absolutely. Just changing the camera angle up a bit from this one. I suppose the release of it not being a massively iconic sort of figure, it doesn't need the iconic He-Man pose that we had to do the last one around. So that's good. What do you think about for yours?
Same deal. I'm gonna go with more of a full-on shot, like he's emerging from the water, but he's gonna be facing the viewer.
Right.
And I'm gonna incorporate a lot of blacks, so it feels kind of noir-ish, so something like more movie monster-ish.
Yep.
And because I love the idea of having water sort of like cascade off of the armor.
Yep. Awesome. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And this one would be a tighter shot, like a closer shot in comparison to what I do with He-Man and Beastman.
Nice. Yeah.
So
So
it'll
you're saying you're close. It'll be more of a close up. Is that what you're thinking?
yes. So
Yeah.
I'm basically gonna cut this off like right above the knee.
Yeah.
So that I can play around with reflection in the water, some ripples, kind of really lean into a sea creature kind of vibe to it.
And watercolor, of course. Is that what your plan is, or gouache? What's your plan with?
I think I'm gonna do more gouache than watercolor with this one.
Yeah. Yep.
So that the base colors on the form will be a bit more opaque.
Right.
So I can like kind of play around with like some glistening effects off of like the scales and
yes.
Really lean into some of the details, considering that it'll be a closer shot.
Yes. Awesome. You get some of those cool details of his coral and his eyes and.
Absolutely. Like I'm even gonna throw in like maybe like some seaweed, sort of like
nice
falling off the arm kind of deal.
Explain to me what's going on with his neck, though. The neck's always been a concern for me. What's going on with that neck?
I think it's you know what? I feel like Merman is like an amalgam of different sea creatures or amphibians. Right, because he's got kind of like a frogman thing happening.
He does, but then he's got like this burn victim neck. Like, what's happening? He's got a Freddy Krueger neck going on there. Like, is that like a seaweedy corally kind of thing? I don't know what's happening there. It's mildly confusing. It's like, let's fill that bit in. But I don't remember that bit on the action figure. It was like the head was big and then the armor kind of went up to it. Like,
yeah,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it actually went up pretty high. I think they did that intentionally. Like there had to have been a guy at the factory saying, like, dude, what's with his neck?
Yeah.
Let's
I wondered there's an argument between the concept designer and the toy guy. He said, well, screw you, mate. I'm gonna put a neck that you can't do. All right? Because where's the pecs end and the neck begins? Because I mean,
he doesn't have a clavicle.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, again, it's like the flamulet, so I'm trying to make sense of something that maybe doesn't make any sense.
We are course correcting where the designers in the field
yes.
back in the day, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Just bear with us.
These are the issues we had at 8 and 9 years old. That's just what it is.
True.
When you start to lay your drawing in, do you start with a basic sort of spine and head to begin with, or how do you begin with your drawing?
Always simple shapes, right? So
yeah,
I try to go with something a little more geometric with like, a lot of ovals, triangles for my torso, right? Sort of like block in where the fists are going to be.
Yep.
And then from where I position my hands, I work my way back to the body.
Right.
So that, it feels convincing.
Yes.
And then, from there, like once I'm done with these like preliminary like blue lines, I'm going to move over to my regular pencils so that, it's not so hard to see.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you.
But a lot of it is chicken scratch in the very, very beginning.
Yes, it makes sense to you though.
Absolutely. So we're just going to drop in the trident, the head of the trident, right up here.
Well, you don't want to run out of room for the trident. It's kind of a He-Man sword problem, isn't it?
True. But I'm gonna put his fist like right below. It's not gonna be super big.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it like right below the trident, like his hand.
Yep.
So that I can get some nice like cascading effects coming off of the shaft of the trident.
Mm-hmm.
and maybe, if I'm feeling froggy, I might throw in like some barnacles on the armor,
Yes.
Pun intended. Pun intended.
Yes, I'm with you. You're allowed dad jokes. It's fine. You're the dad. You got the card.
There you go. Because I think my goal for all of these characters is so that they don't feel goofy.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, but still fun.
Yeah, it's still fun for sure, but like not as goofy as like the cartoon show made him out to be.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's kind of like the Aquaman of the Motu universe, isn't he? Like no one really took him that seriously.
That's true. Very, very true. And he was a bit of a willful. Well, no. How can I put it? He was kind of dense in the show. Like
how do I not offend you, Merman? Listen.
He wasn't very bright. He was kind of like a child.
He was a bit of a simple henchman, wasn't he? Really,
yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't quite operating on all four cylinders. I don't think.
No, not at all. No, I don't think. I think it was too much oxygen as opposed to not enough.
Yes.
Too much oxygen.
Yeah, there you go. Oh dear.
So, outside of that, Will, how's your holiday been going?
It's been pretty good, pretty busy. We got a lot of children and floating in and out, but just trying to just keep momentum going through that break and getting lots of art done, and
nice.
It's been good. I've got a little bit of a breather in commissions. I've got one I'm finishing, so it's been nice to focus on building other content. So
good.
Sending off submissions, things like that. So it's been nice to focus on that a little bit, which has been really good.
Excellent.
How about you? How did the big festival go?
So Art Basel was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's typically a week-long art festival. So it runs like the full 7 days, first week of December.
Yes.
But, I'm not a fan of crowds, so I like to keep it pretty self-contained. So I hung out on the one spot, and I painted a Miles Morales live.
Nice. Yep.
Considering that the place in which I was like painting live was a sneaker store, so they sold a lot of like high-end shoes and like really hard to find sneakers. So I felt that it was fitting to do a Miles Morales, as like the character is typically depicted wearing like retro Jordan 1s.
Nice.
And it was fun. It was fun. I mean, I think I got sick. I think I caught like a bug.
You got the plague. Yep.
Because the week after that, dude, I was bedridden.
Yeah.
And
got the Basel plague.
That's it. The Basel plague. You know what I mean? And I guess it was a bit of a blessing in disguise. If you look at it from that perspective, because sometimes the body has a way of like telling you to sit the hell down.
Yeah, just pause for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I needed to like just kind of sit down for a bit and just rest and recuperate, which was beneficial because I came back like feeling really good and a lot more focused and strong. But other than that, it was great. It was great. Then that Saturday at the studio that I teach at, we had a little bit of a workshop for some cartooning, which was fun. And so far so good, dude. I mean, I was able to talk to my son, watch him like open his gifts and such.
Nice.
You know, had a great time with the family. You know, watching my stepkids open their things
Yeah,
and
cool.
watch my
Good
little
family
brother.
time.
Yeah, it was it was great. It was great. I can't complain. That usually I tend to get into a funk like close to the end of the year.
Yes. Yep.
You know, and some people call it seasonal depression, but like
Yeah. Right. Okay.
it's just one of those where like I start to like reflect on all the negative things that happen throughout the year.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Shouldn't have become a communist. All of those things. Is that what you're saying? Buying a semi-automatic rifle was not a good choice. Yeah. All of those. All my savings on armoring a car up and prepping for an apocalypse. Yeah. All of those choices we make through the year.
Indeed.
Going into battle with a corn and a cob sword, always a bad choice.
But all in all, man, like the past couple of years, I was telling my fiance this the other day. You know, past couple of years, it's like I've like been feeling a lot better close to the end of the year. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's sometimes with age, like you tend to recognize what it is that's going on. You can read the signs quickly,
sure.
and you know, I'm the same. I hit the end of the teaching term, and I have a little bit of inertia where I'm still going 100 miles an hour,
Right.
and then when I stop, the wave hits me like boom, and then I'm in a bit of a rut, a little bit, you know. And I think that's just recognizing that to pace the marathon a little bit better, you know. It's
but all in all, like, you know, all in all, so far the season has been great. I can't complain.
Oh, that's good.
Can't complain.
Now this cat's got a weird head. I'm just saying it straight up.
Yeah, he really does. It's like he's got like a pair of hands. Like on
what is going on with the face? Like he's got fins and a kind of a green crown. That's not a crown. Like what's going on with you, Merman?
I know, like, you know, I can understand why I didn't attempt to draw these characters when I was a kid.
I have a newfound respect for filmation.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're missing one here. Look at that. See, this is how you know this is live, ladies and gentlemen. You're catching me make all my mistakes right now.
The magical eraser. That's how you know it's live.
Yeah, this is how we make the sausage, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we make the sausage.
Yeah, ain't no Frazetta action happening here.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'm not posing with a brush in hand saying, look at this. This is mid-process. No, it's not mid-process. Thinking I when I go to paint this, I might do his eye like an actual, like a large fish eye.
You know what?
Really black.
I was really I was literally just thinking about doing something similar. Like I'm considering sort of like blacking out one side of his face.
Yes. Oh, that'd be cool.
So I could get that like mirrored reflection, that mirrored like light reflection kind of bouncing off the eye.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So where's your light angle coming from? You're thinking from the one angle from the side, do you think?
I'm thinking the light could be coming from behind him.
Nice.
I want it to feel kind of murky. Right?
That's cool. Backlit. Yeah.
I want it to feel a little murky, give it like that horror movie sort of aesthetic.
He's a creepy dude. Like imagine coming across this cat with his like the sharp teeth and imagine that, like just the neck.
Yeah.
I'd be stopped with the neck. Like why is your skin so smooth, but then you got this neck?
this non-neck. You know? A neck that looks like crumpled up pieces of paper. Like
crumpled up paper neck. There's an insult.
Crumpled up paper neck.
There's an insult for the playground. Hey, what's with your neck? It's like crumpled up paper.
Paper neck. There you go.
Hey, paper neck.
Paper neck. I love it.
It's an insult you can take to the bank, that one. Paper neck. Yeah, it's bizarre.
But all in all, I've been like you, just going through, some commission stuff. I got some fun stuff I'm going to be posting on the Instagram soon.
Yes.
Just had that convention, Otaku Fest, on the 16th.
Yep.
Which was also very successful. And just
doing it.
Exactly. Just kind of accepting all the challenges that come my way. Right?
Yeah.
I'm one
Life
of
of the artist, folks.
Yeah. I'm one of those like masochists that I like the challenge of drawing something that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
I feel like as artists we emerge from that stronger.
Yeah. Well, there'll always come a time when you'll pull on those skills, like I don't know what your weak areas are with art, or ones that you haven't learned properly yet, but for me it's definitely vehicles.
Okay.
But I'm leaning into it, you just got to, that's how you grow, isn't it?
Absolutely. And far be it for me to like advise something for my kids to do that like I myself aren't doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like vehicles for me, well, not so much vehicles, but more architecture.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with you on that one too. Yep.
Just because
non-organic.
Yeah. I mean, I do love like mecha. So
yes.
Well,
your Starscream you did that time was fantastic, man. Like that.
I
really
love doing Transformers, especially G1 Transformers.
Yeah.
I absolutely love drawing G1 Transformers.
I saw that and I was like, wow, you should be is it IDW that does Transformers? You should be definitely
yes, it is IDW.
You should be definitely working for those guys. I mean, that was fantastic.
And thank you. And I coincidentally I have a client who is a huge Transformers fan. So whenever I run into her at a show, she always like commissions some G1 stuff.
Really? Yeah.
And I've done some really cool things for her.
So who was your favorite Transformer out of all of them that you loved? Who was your go-to?
Man, Soundwave.
Yeah, Soundwave was pretty cool.
Soundwave was definitely my go-to.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
And I think I enjoyed the toy more than like.
Yeah. Did you have all the cassettes that went in, like Ravage?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Buzz Off and all those.
Laserbeak, Ravager.
Yeah. Rumble.
Rumble. Yeah, that's right. He had Rumble with him. The little midget guy.
Yes.
Create the earthquakes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. The little alarms. Great designs, weren't they?
Yeah. That I think
Blaster was the other one, wasn't he? He was the Autobots one.
Yes, that's right.
And he had the Rhino and yeah.
So those were fantastic designs.
The lion, a lion and a little rhino that used to jump out. Yeah, very cool.
Actually, I gotta move this. This should be a little further towards the shoulder. Away from the paper neck. Paper neck.
The reveal of the paper neck.
Exactly. But those were like I'm dying to do some of that stuff.
Well, that might be our next thing, hey? We'll do a bit of a run on little Transformers.
Yeah. Because and even I've seen like David Finch talk about this stuff when he does like when he draws Batman.
Yep.
When he draws Batman, he talks about making mechanical things look convincing because he was in the stream that I was watching. He was drawing Batman with his grapple gun.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he said he would struggle with is making mechanical things look convincing.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Well, especially invented technology. It's always tricky.
True.
That's why I suppose it's always good to add that element of the 3D that we already know, like, sometimes hinges or pivots or pistons, and
that's right.
It adds that believability to it. You think, oh well, I know that in the real world, it's convincing. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I remember I did a cover for a novel called what was it called? Was it Future Man or something like that? It was, but on the cover it had a large mech, like a super large mech, sort of bending down to this little girl, and but doing these rusty sort of parts that I just had to reference tanks and anything, like even industrial machinery, just trying to get reference to make it look believable.
Yeah.
Forever Man, that was the name of the book.
Forever Man. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things that helped me, when I would do studies on like mechanical things or just drawing mecha in general, was Terminator.
Nice. Yep.
Right. That if you look at what James Cameron did with
Stan Winston. Yep.
Yeah, the build out to like that skeleton, it's taking what he did with just the standard anatomy and applying a mechanical component to it. My dad was a mechanic, so it's like I see that sort of stuff often.
Yes.
Yeah. So like it would help me sort of like, okay, if the articulation of the arm moves this way, I could put a hinge and a pivot here. You know what I mean? Just so that it feels that much more convincing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Well, that's a great insight to have, though, having the dad as a mechanic. Like he could easily give you the reference points and how things fit together and work. And
absolutely. Let's see. Let's spread that out a bit. Now he's got this weird.
all of it's weird. Everything on him is weird.
All of it is weird. I don't even know why I'm trying to single it out. Like all of it is weird.
He's got weird 3 fingers. It's got a weird sort of double glove thing going on there. Like he's got a glove and then a glove at the top. Like, what are you doing?
Like his chest armor looks.
I know.
I think it's all corn. I think it's it's all corn.
It's like corn and coral had a baby.
And he's got this weird bow tie for his belt.
The belt always gets me. Like, how do you bend over without that stabbing you in the leg? Like,
how do you run? You can't run.
You can't. You're be flopping around everywhere.
With that.
It's all bad. Like, I mean, I can just imagine bending over and like, it's stuck in your thigh. You left it on the ground for a minute. Hang on a minute. I'll be there in a second.
All types of bruises. All types of bruises.
All type of fishy bruises.
I'm telling you. There's nothing practical about this design.
And no bottom teeth, but got upper teeth. Like, what's happening there? Like, we're not going with the... Like, what are you biting down onto? Like, is there a lower palate? Would you imagine there's a lower palate?
Does he just eat plankton? With
sharp teeth? Like... sushi all the time? Like, what do you... I don't know. It hurts my bronch. It's the flammula issue. I mean, it's hurting my mind. So you've got the face nearly down, and you're doing the armor.
Yeah.
And the armor's strange too, isn't it? Like these spikes. Where do they start? Which direction are we going here? Like, are they?
So the reference that I have open is the actual action figure, right?
Right.
And as opposed to it sort of like fanning outward towards the shoulders, It
Yeah.
feels like it's sort of like bunched up on top of his shoulder.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm gonna reference the toy in that regard, but then looking at it, I might switch the head of the trident to go downward, so I get some of the trident sort of like peeking out of the water, right?
Right. Yeah. Because
So
some of their toy designs that are tridents are pretty cool,
yeah,
especially the later iterations of him, and like, even I think the cartoon, the Kevin Smith one, had a good trident in there as well.
oh, absolutely, yeah, that one had a really good one. So I'm gonna get this weird torso armor, the corn armor.
corn armor. I think there's something funny about everyone. Beastman had a weird thing going on too with his armor. Like, is it part of his fur? Is it on top of the fur? And he had the weird amulet floating in the middle that on the toy I was sort of just part of the armor, but then later on they make it an amulet. What is going on there?
But now we're leaning heavily into the flaws, right? We're leaning heavily into the flaws.
That's it. The trading cards are looking good too, Kenny. I saw your update you did. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, perhaps?
Oh, yeah. Those are, I think that's the last. No, I got one more round of Marvel Premiere cards to drop on social media. I've been slowly putting those out because I just signed off another contract to do another run of Marvel Premiere.
Is this with Upper Deck?
With Upper, yeah. So I'm expecting those cards to come in the mail sometime over the course of the next week.
Nice.
And yeah, man, fun stuff. So
that is fun. And they look fun. Like they look like energetic, and some of the compositions are you're pushing it, which is really good.
I'm trying. It's sometimes it's hard to like come up with stuff just like fresh that doesn't look like you're like repeating a lot of the same poses.
Yeah.
But I'm having fun with it. I think, but like I think with this recent premiere set, like I've like found my stride with it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, some of those ones where they're bouncing towards the camera look fantastic.
Thank you. Let's see here. Let's get this trident.
See, on this original drawing, it kind of looks like his scrumpled up paper neck is connected to his head.
Yeah.
What? I'm just going to bring it up on the screen again. Like,
I think
it's connected.
I think it's kind of like to give him that inflatable neck, like a bullfrog.
Yeah, like a bloatfish or something. Yeah, right.
Do
you reckon that's what they were going for?
I think so too. It would have been cool to like actually see him do stuff like that.
That would have been great. Imagine if they had those little bladders or something where you could just like inflate it.
So you
like
squeeze the torso and his neck inflates.
Air Jordan neck.
I'm gonna give him the triangular looking trident with the curves on the corners. And I think I'm going to cut it. My horizon will be about here. Now let's bring the horizon up a little higher. Horizon will be about there, and then we'll have them emerge from the water about here. So then trident will be further in front, which will cut off about there. Okay. Let me bring this down a bit so you guys can see that a bit clearer. Right.
Yeah, that was good. You got a bit of a frown happening on that brow there, Kenny.
Well, yeah, because I'm leaning him forward.
Yeah.
So it's going to flatten the perspective on the eyes so that they seem less circular but more oval, right?
Now, are you going to show more back of the head there too? Or is that he's looking kind of straight? He's fanned, his wings, what would you call it, fins on the head there, are kind of looking straight at us.
The fins, he's gonna have a little bit of. We're gonna see a little bit of the back of the head here.
Bit of head fin.
Yeah, right about there, and then it's gonna be in this area right here where I'm gonna play around with a lot of the glistening scales and such.
Nice.
Like, I think it's fun when one can explore some like realistic attributes with some like IPs that are typically fantastical.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think that's been part of the joy of doing this one or doing these series that we're working on in the Artists of the Universe side, is just having our own take on everything. Like seeing your version of the characters, seeing Jim O'Reilly doing the sculptures, and Nate Stone's doing his close-up portrait. It's just been great to see everybody's version of those characters. I think Gerald's joining us next week.
Sweet.
I think somebody doing. So I spoke to him yesterday. He's going to be jumping in and drawing along with us in the live stream. So
nice.
As we would encourage anyone that's joining us for the first time or a return viewer to please join in and draw with us, and feel free to add in your photo in the chats or onto the Artists of the Universe site on Facebook.
Absolutely. Now, I think that based on this positioning of the trident, I'm going to bend his arm up a little bit more so we see the back of the hand. And we get the side fins of the glove here. All right. We get the elbow bend. And then here, it'll be more of the knuckles. The fingers bend, thumbs, foreshortened forearm, and then the gloves. There we go. Now let's make a few adjustments here so that the trident is sort of like parallel with the forearm. All right, then we got the points of the trident here. We'll do a more prominent point there, and then the shorter ones here at the sides. So, Will, do you have anything lined up for the new year? Now that
in terms of art or just life in general?
life in general, art.
Our New Year's are reasonably quiet, just because we just like it that way.
Right.
Like you, I suppose I tend to avoid the crowds, but sometimes we go down to the horse races or something on a New Year's Eve. But yeah, generally we tend to have a quiet sort of time with the kids, and they get to stay up late and that kind of stuff. But really, it's setting schedules and times for next year. Really is what I'll probably be doing the most, and scheduling out projects and just approaching it that way. I tend to like my lists, so I tend to, as you can see with the Masters of the Universe list, I tend to live on lists. Just helps me stay focused.
Of course.
But yeah, how about you?
Got a couple shows lined up. We talked about getting some other lists going after we wrap Masters of the Universe, and getting some of the instructional content.
Our Back to the Drawing Board series.
Yes.
Yep.
Getting the instructional content up. that I thought was a great idea. Sort of like highlighting a particular artist and his art style, and sort of like having a discussion on what makes this artist so unique.
Yes.
And doing our own renditions of it.
Yeah. So doing like a study.
Yeah.
On different artists each time, and I suppose you're right. Looking at the styles and the aesthetics that made that artist prominent and successful in our eyes.
Right.
Yeah. We got Greg Johnson with us.
Greg, how's it going? Happy holidays to you.
So, hey guys, super busy this weekend. Just wanted to say hi and wish you both a happy new year. Happy New Year, Greg.
Happy New Year, Greg. Get these knuckles in here. I like chunky knuckles.
Rather than petite merman, we don't.
Yeah, I like making the knuckles chunky.
Yeah.
Right? It makes the hand look strong. When the knuckles are chunky. So, what did I say? Oh, so yeah, so like, just to share with the group,
yeah,
and anyone that may be watching this after we're offline, who are some of the artists that you would like to, I guess, do a study on for that series?
I mean, we've got our love list, don't we, already? Like, it's...
Yeah.
We could go on for 15 years about all the artists that we've loved over time,
Yeah. There is one artist that you mentioned when we had the chat discussion.
Yes.
That I didn't expect, but
yes.
I absolutely love, and was actually one of the artists that got me into doing realism.
Oh, who are we talking about?
Norman Rockwell.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I remember being in one of my art history classes in high school.
Yep.
And seeing a picture of Norman Rockwell's self-portrait painting.
Where he's drawing himself.
Where he's drawing himself in front of the big easel.
Yes, I love that picture. That's cool.
I was absolutely mind blown by that, and I was like, I have got to try this.
Yep. And did you try it?
Absolutely. I that same night I sat in front of the full-length mirror that I had in my bedroom, and with my sketchbook, and I did my self-portrait. It was an image that I never got back after I showed it to my art teacher.
Oh, really? They didn't return it?
No, I never got it back.
Wow.
Never got it back.
You might see it on eBay one day. Sotheby's art auctions.
And it wasn't the first time. I had done a couple things that that I never got back at the end of the year.
That's
I figured, I know that a few art teachers in the school that I went to would sort of like hold on to those things very quietly, just so they can use them as examples.
References, yeah.
For the next grade to come in.
Do your own examples. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't draw your own examples. Don't be teaching it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was always one, I guess, technique that I never got down, and like because I never really understood it or was able to really master it. I never tried it again. It was the grid.
Oh, the grid method? Yeah.
Yes, the grid method.
Very old technique.
And I see tons of like mural artists here in Miami do that. When they want to replicate something that they've illustrated onto a bigger scale.
Yeah. Well, it's a good way to keep it in proportion without worrying about free flowing the whole thing. It's It's a method that I suppose I don't use, but it's I can see the sense of it when they're doing something so massive.
Yeah,
You know?
that for in all of the larger murals that I've done, I've just eyeballed it and freehanded it.
Yeah.
That for sure it's not going to come out exact, or it's not gonna be like I guess close to the sample illustration, right?
Yeah.
But it's I feel like it's less complicated for me.
Yeah, well, I guess I think it too just depends on what the subject matter is. Like if you're doing like a really really extremely macro sized face, I
Mhm.
can like that has to be representational of like Obama or something.
Sure.
I could see the purpose of that. Like being, but I can also see the energy that you do with your drawing that would serve something that's more immediate. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a method that I suppose I was taught, but I never really used it
No.
because I felt like it took the power of the initial drawing away because it became very methodical,
Right.
almost mechanical in that way, I guess. But
Yeah.
um, but I like there's artists like Amance Tillers, the Australian landscape painter, and he grids his landscapes up, but then he also grids up his canvases and his timber. So then
Oh,
he paints everyone individually and then reassembles it.
interesting.
So you get a really sort of beautiful each square in the grid looks. They link together, but they are. You can tell he's painted them on different days, so different moods, different techniques.
And it still
Um,
feels unified.
yeah, then he
Interesting.
fits them all together. So you might have an Australian landscape of a bushfire scene or the
Right.
Kosciuszko Mountains, and it links together because it's so large. There'd be a large amount of artworks, grids in it,
Mhm.
but it's unified through form rather than style.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I do it with my students. I do them. I cut up smaller bits of timber and we do it that way. It's a good way for them to start because they're not thinking about the intimidating large canvas. They can work
Right.
on small pieces at a time. It's
Okay.
yeah,
I can see that. I can dig that. I like that method.
yeah. It's a nice way for them to learn.
Feels less intimidating.
Yeah, it becomes a bit more paint by numberish for them, I suppose, because
Yeah.
they're going by square.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that grid method. I've always found it to be like too, I guess, restricting. That
Yes.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Too mathematical.
Yeah. 'Cause- and don't get me wrong. I'm all for using lines of symmetry and math and so forth, right? Because listen. I swear by Da Vinci's work.
Yeah.
I swear by it. And he was the guy that would like use all of those I guess non-conventional methods in his work,
Yeah. Yeah.
right, that we don't
Yeah.
typically see or like necessarily pay attention to
Right. Yeah.
when it comes to art in general. But it just, I don't know, man, like it felt like I was too much in a box, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, the rock wall one will be a good study for that. Looking at form and function, and I just did a rock wall study recently. I just went and picked an image and did the Santa Claus.
Oh, nice. Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, so I never really studied. I've been a Rockwell fan forever, but I'd never actually reverse engineered his painting to try and learn from his style. But yes, it was really interesting to see where his focal points were in the detail, and
Right.
other areas where he just completely bled it off, so that it would allow your mind to fill in the detail. So I suppose for him being an illustrator, it's the economy of time as well. But it was interesting to see how he did that. But yeah, it was good. It was a very 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 big learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good.
And you got
good for your students. Good for your students to see you doing it too.
Of course. That I had a conversation with one of my students just last night. As a matter of fact, he was going through a little bit of a confidence issue.
Oh yes, yep. Oh, those things.
Yeah, he was going through a little bit of a confidence issue, right?
Yeah.
And I had to kind of talk him off the ledge a little bit, and
yeah,
like remind him that no one is born good.
Yeah.
Like, that is something that you develop over time. Just like any skill, it's observation into application into repetition.
Yeah.
You got to build that muscle memory.
You do. And a lot of it's behavioral too. Like it's
True.
learning, to develop that grit and learning to also learn the ability to just sit and focus and breathe. And, it's a hard one. I mean, people today are just so wired into immediacy, and it's for them to disconnect for a while. It's a hard thing to do. I totally understand too that the difficulty in that, but you've got to be able to focus. You've got to be able to pay attention. Like, I mean, for me, whenever I am drawing, the media goes away.
Yeah,
it can't be there. Otherwise, I'm browning out of my drawing into the media and then browning back in again. It's
right.
It's not productive for me. If I've got anything playing in the background, it's something I've seen a million times.
Right. So you don't necessarily need to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I'm not. It's just background noise, and I'm not going to lose myself, lose an hour watching something.
Right.
I need to be able to focus on what I'm doing and giving it. The image needs to come out. I suppose it's like anything. It's like coming up with an idea and you don't act on it, and it pops up somewhere else. You think, what? How did they know? Is my house bugged? But how did they? That was my idea. But it's because it just needs to be here, and if you don't act upon it, it'll find another way. So I have to give it my full attention to make sure that this image comes out how I want it to,
Yeah.
It's a tricky behavioral thing because even watching adults, they're just off and on the phone.
Yeah.
They can't give it its full space.
Yeah. I do the same thing. I try to, just kind of have some noise in the background. I feel like just having something kind of going in the background allows, helps me focus in a weird way.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
I understand that for sure. For sure.
Especially if it's something that I'm not necessarily good at.
Right.
With be it something technical, or if I'm trying a new style, or
a new medium,
a new medium, you know what I mean? Like it kind of alleviates some of that anxiety.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
And
I mean, because when you're looking at you drawing and I drawing, like even though we are talking and joking all the way through it, our minds are at battle. I mean, we're figuring out 1,000 questions at once, and we're just constantly. But because we've fought this war a few times, we know the play. We know the playbook.
Yeah.
But if you sat me down with, like, we'll go ahead and do this oil painting of a cityscape, I'd need quiet. I need to figure the gameplay out, because I've got to win. I'm going to win this.
Yeah, it's like that video that I sent you the other day. With the artist talking about how we build a composition, how we create thumbnails, and like figure out what would be best for the art.
I was just trying to think of which video for a second. I was like, oh yeah, now I know the one.
Oh no, not any of the funny ones, not any of the funny ones. But
Because we said a lot of dumb stuff to each other.
This is true. This is true. This is true.
Very funny. Yeah,
yeah.
I totally agree. You've got to be in the zone of managing the 1 million questions.
Yeah. This is this you know, that's something that I still like kind of do today, right? Like I feel that I'm pretty decent at sort of like working out a very quick composition on the fly that feels very energetic.
Yeah.
But you know, there's still like some subject matter that, you know, that same formula cannot be applied to.
Right.
Like when it comes to, say, characters like what we're doing now, right? The Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
You know, this you know, fantasy aspect, you know, of these like humanoid creatures and you know, battle armor and, you know, the high fantasy element to it. That's like second nature, right?
Right.
But if you take an IP like, say, Pokemon, for example, right?
Right.
I would still struggle with trying to compose that in an energetic way that doesn't feel like I'm ripping off the, you know, like an artist that typically does the source material.
Yeah, and that's a tricky one, because the reinterpretation of something so tight is in terms of its movement and allowance is hard. You know, for a while there, I worked at McDonald's as a doing the marketing.
Uh-huh.
And so I did a lot of the artwork for the party rooms. Remember the days when they had party rooms? I don't know if they have them in the States. They don't really have them in Australia anymore. But back in the day, you could have a party at McDonald's. And I used to do the artwork for the party rooms, and it was really tight. Anything I had to, if I recreated Ronald McDonald in a spacesuit, I had to get that approved by head office in America. So it was really tight. And if you got to learn how to turn the head and the shape of the face, and you know, who's to know what Pikachu looks like from above? You know, like it's interesting. So it's you see it a lot online, especially on YouTube, people replicating a drawing that already exists, without, you know, like every time I do, like even the Santa Claus one I did of Rockwell, I've always signed it after Rockwell underneath it. You know, you got to honor the original piece. Yeah, a lot of people don't do that.
No, and that's a great way to get yourself canceled in this industry.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Even in the comics world, we see it, don't we? Like we see people taking older cover designs and reappropriating them is probably the word I'd use.
Swiping. They swipe.
Yeah. Stealing.
Yeah.
Flat out stealing.
Flat out, I tell you.
Flat out stealing. So if you are joining us today, we are, for the first time, if you're just jumping in, we are working our way through the Masters of the Universe 52, and the list was formatted to go with the waves of the toys as they came out, which in itself is ridiculously anal and took me forever, but we are working through that. I'm not going to tell you that it was kind of a joy until I got about to the 70% mark, and then I wish I'd finished earlier. But we're working our way through. We're at Merman. I'm looking forward to Man at Arms, though. I've got to tell you, Kenny, Man at Arms is going to be a fun one to do.
Oh yeah.
He's going to be good.
I'm already like thinking of like guns.
Yes.
Guns.
I'm going with the heavy mace, the big mace that he had.
Ooh, yes, that's another good one. That's another great one.
Big old mace. But if I was to think of my favorite He-Man characters, it would definitely be Jitsu and Fisto. They were my two ones that I love the most, and Stratos.
Okay, that's a great one.
My top three. Who would be your top three?
Top three, Battle Damage He-Man.
Oh yes, we have him, don't we? Yeah, he's on the list. Yeah.
Yeah, Battle Damage He-Man. Man at Arms.
Yeah.
and Robot Man.
Oh, what was his name? Roboto. Roboto.
Was it Roboto? I want to say it was. I want to say it was Robot Man.
Let's go with that.
Let me
Hang on, let me have a look at the list. What's the list say?
Oh,
The list
he's on the list.
notes. Yeah. Let me see. Yep, Roboto after Moduloc.
Roboto. Yeah.
So we got Mantena, Mossman, Moduloc, Roboto.
Ooh, Mossman was another great one.
Yep, Spikeor, Stinkor, which is like my teenage son's bedroom at the moment. Cyclone, Too Bad. Too Bad was one I had. I never made sense of. That's going to be an interesting one to do.
Yeah.
Rio Blast.
Okay.
Or Ryo Blast. Maybe Ryo Blast.
We got some great ones.
Clamp Champ. Clamp Champ will be a good one.
Yep.
King Randor, Sorceress, Blade. Blade was one I didn't know about. He was kind of a newer one. Same with Ninja.
So I thought you know what? I don't think Blade was in the original. He wasn't in the original cartoon, no?
No way, no.
Blade was a character that they created for the movie.
He was, yeah. And Scareglow. Scareglow was not in the original cartoon either, I don't think. Later. But, or Snoutspout. I think Snoutspout was.
Snoutspout was. I think
we got Man at Arms, and we got Skeletor, Stratos, Tila, Zodak. Zodak was one I didn't really discover till later.
True.
Just didn't see it, I guess. But Evil Lyn.
Evil Lyn, classic.
That name always makes me laugh. Evelyn. Evil Lyn. Faker. Faker's a good one.
Yep.
Basically, blue He-Man painted blue. But I mean, you could do almost like a what's the anti-Superman that I love? What's his name? Yeah, Bizarro. Yeah, like you do a Bizarro He-Man, like you almost give him sort of different effects.
Yeah.
You got Many Faces. That'd be an interesting one.
He was good. Yep.
Ram Man, Trapjaw, Triclops. Then you got your Battle Armor He-Man.
Sweet.
Yeah. Then we got a good run. It's got Buzz-Off, Clawful, Fisto, Cobra Khan. And then Mechaneck. Don't know about Mechaneck. Yeah. Anyway, Mechaneck.
Good lineup. Good lineup going. I'm gonna make this.
Oh, you're whacking in the shadows. I'm gonna stop yakking and start drawing. Yeah. You're jumping ahead of
me. Once I get the composition in, everything else is autopilot.
Then he started painting, I'm still drawing. He's got the fairy trunks still, doesn't he? Got the fairy trunks happening. He's got the fairy underwear still happening.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to mention that because he's got like a pelt. So he's got like the animal pelt.
He's got a yellow pelt. Are you going to go tight fitting undies, or you got? I know you got the draggly bits hanging down.
Nah, dude. I'm gonna give you a pelt, but it's gonna be like a wet pelt.
Oh yes, yep, like beaver.
So it'll be like kind of dripping. Yep. In the water here.
That's gonna be attractive. Bit of drippy seaweed pelt happening. Yeah.
So it'll be like like the fish smell, but also like wet pet hair.
Good. Oh, good. Wet dog. Low tide, wet dog smell. That's great.
Yeah. So
another reason not to hang out with Merman.
There you go. As if the fish smell wasn't enough.
See, that would have been a scene in the cartoon I would have loved. Like just for like Beastman to turn around and go, Jesus, the smell. Can you do something? Really? Come on. It's like 40 degrees out here. You smell like that. Low tide. And blink. Can you blink? Just blink at me once. Like the open eyes and the drop mouth. Breathing through your mouth. We got a problem. Yeah. We talked about this. Yeah.
So through a lot of these like hard blacks that I'm putting in here.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull out some negative space for the water sort of like dropping off of them.
Yeah.
Right. And I want it to feel like it's kind of a swamp.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right.
So you're going with murky type water?
Yeah, murky water. So it's going to be really cold.
Yep.
I'm going to lean into a darker color palette for the water, and the silhouette of shrubbery in the background.
Ooh, yep.
So that the yellows on Merman really pop.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And you, with your color palette for Merman, are you going with the cool sort of lemon yellows, or are you going with more of a cadmium warm?
No, I'm gonna go with the cooler lemon yellow, and a balance between some teal and maybe a cerulean blue.
Ooh, yes.
And then maybe do the water in like a purple, a sort of like violet, right?
Yes.
So it really like jumps out at you.
Yep.
Because I really want this one to feel different from He-Man and Beastman, because those were like warmer, a lot warmer.
Yes. Very, very hot tones on those other ones for sure.
Yes. So I want this one to feel a lot cooler, right? So that we see a little bit of a development with each character as we work through the list.
I'm loving that left hand holding the trident. Kenny, looks great.
This one here?
No, the other one where you had the foreshortened hand.
Oh,
yeah,
here, yeah.
Really well.
So because I thought of maybe he's emerging from the water holding the trident like a spear or a javelin.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So he feels a bit more menacing.
Yeah, well, he definitely looks like he's ready to go to battle. Like he's walking out to it, to a confrontation.
And that's what I want. You know what I mean? So we're not dealing with goofy Merman. We're dealing with I will kill you and everything you love, Merman.
Yours looks way menacing as a warrior. Mine looks like he's off his meds, Merman. Merman, look at the eyes. This kid's living the dream. Look at him. Like take the red pill.
I will say that we did foreshortening in the torso. That looks good. The mouth.
Yeah, I had that tricky belt option again. The bow tie belt.
That belt is crazy.
Yeah, that's a mental belt. Like, don't tell me that's not going to stab into that little soft inner thigh area. That's going to be a problem.
I went a little smaller with my belt, so it's like so it's not eye catching.
Yeah, I've given him the full conch belt. It leans into the off the meds Merman with a corncob sword.
I'm gonna throw some seaweed kind of coming off of the trident here.
You're gonna have it dangling off his arms and stuff, like he's just coming out of the murk.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. I
think I'll put one kind of coming off of his armor here. So it's got like that creature from the Black Lagoon kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, nice.
And give it that creep factor. And then for a lot of the drops, I'm just gonna go in there with some white ink, so we get like a really robust white.
Yes.
And let's push this in the thigh into some shadow, and mark off where we're going to have some of the water running off of his leg. These have absolutely been a lot of fun to do.
They are, aren't they? It's been a nice starting point, before because you got a little bit of freedom, because it is a property, even though there are artists that are working in the field of the motu stuff. like I think of Simo Sol. I think he's in Germany, but he has the production rights to creating oil paintings based on motu. But he's a lot of his stuff is, even though beautifully rendered, it's almost a repetition from the mini comics. He's redoing them.
Oh wow!
So, and that's like, they're beautiful to look at. He does a great job. I guess I wanted to do something that was not seen before,
right?
You know, and whether they are convincing, that's not always up to me to judging. But I wanted to try and make it, like you, feel like it was existing in a realistic kind of world with realistic consequences. Yeah.
Because, as you know, and as I've mentioned several times on these live streams, I do invite a challenge.
Yes.
And anything that'll sort of like force me out of my comfort zone.
Yep.
I'm all about it. And this has definitely done that.
That'll be me when I do the Transformers one. I'll be like, what?
Yeah, and you know
what am I doing?
You know what? It took me a little bit to kind of figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
But once I understood the methodology behind how to do mecha in a way that's convincing,
yeah,
it completely removed the mystique of difficulty.
Yes. Okay, I'm looking forward to that then. I'm looking for the mystique going away, or me ending up looking like Merman by the end of the series.
I'm telling you, it's not as tough as it appears to be. As a matter of fact, we can probably do one of the instructional vids on that.
That would be great.
You know,
that would be great,
because you know I got a couple kids that struggle with that as well. Like they love mecha, but it's like they can't.
It's a mystery. Yeah.
Yeah, like they can't like wrap their head around it to emulate it.
For sure.
Let's get this shadow thrown in.
I was thinking too, it'd be cool to do a little a genre series, you know, like working through sword and sorcery, working through samurai, working through, you know, and we could do a couple of little samurai pieces, you know, like a Blue-Eyed Samurai or a Usagi Jimbo or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That is a great idea. Got some shadows in here. I do like that idea a lot. Sword and sorcery.
Yeah. Or kaiju. Kaiju would be a good one to do, like giant kaiju.
That's another great one.
I've been watching Monarch lately.
What do you think?
I don't mind it. I'm loving it. Anything with Kurt Russell's an easy sell to me.
True.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Snake Plissken.
No, with McCready.
Indeed.
It's but I love Kurt Russell. But I mean, they've done a good job. Like, it does drag on a bit sometimes, but
yeah,
kind of waiting for the big action.
Right.
It's it's fun.
Yeah,
I've said it before. How can you go wrong when it's arriving in your lounge room? Like, honestly.
True. True.
Like, how can you complain when it's right there? You know.
Let's see here. Yeah, I think we're in good shape, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we are reaching the 1 hour 15. That has flown past, isn't it?
I'm telling you. It's like you don't even feel it.
No. So I will probably, I'm nearly there too. I'll probably just go and clean up some of these overdrawing areas, these scruffy bits, construction lines. It's not even a sharp sword. Like, what is he doing? I'm looking at the sword now. What are you going to cut with that? Like,
it's kind of like one of those Nerf swords.
Yeah. It's a Nerf Minecraft sword. It's not even a real, not even on-brand Nerf. You know? The off-brand Nerf sword. It's like the Comic Con. It's like the Comic Con swords you see, and they get the foam ones, and people walking around with the cosplay sword. Like, what is that? A big foam Zelda sword? What are you doing? Zelda sword. Come on, we can do better than this, people. We can do better.
We really can. We
lift the weights. Can we lift the weights a bit better?
I'm telling you, you know what? I think that if I were to reimagine some of the Motu characters, I would use Merman in more of, or more in line with like Greco-Roman, more of a Greco-Roman aesthetic.
Yes.
So like with like a gladius, you know.
Yes.
The trident and net kind of vibe.
Yes, and a short sword.
Yeah, and a short sword. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
I feel like even a cool helmet like the gladiator helmets would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Give it that real sort of Atlantean, Lemurian kind of feel.
Yeah, I would get rid of these like weird fin hand head things that he's got going on there.
Maybe make that part of the helmet.
Or make that part of the helmet. Yeah. So like maybe
you take it off and his whole head is just paper neck.
We'll give him a scarf.
What a disappointment.
So we can see the paper neck. We'll give him a scarf.
We just lost our job at Mattel. Sorry. Oops. You had us till paper neck.
I'm telling you. Paper neck, I don't know. The paper neck
corner the cob outfit. So I'm going to adapt the corner of the cob, and I'm going to give it either a real rocky coral feel when I paint it. Yeah, or I was thinking maybe making it gold, but then I thought no, because a lot of the other characters can have steel on them. I thought it'd be cool to have an organic sort of corally effect, like
barnacles.
Yeah, like it's growing on him. Yeah, like he had the armor, and the armor has grown.
Stuff, like the little clusters of barnacle shells.
Yeah. Yep. And sort of it's continuing to add and grow over time. And that will pick up the light and the water glistening bits as well, like wet coral.
Yeah.
That's my plan. And I did think about maybe his skin having a fish-like texture to it as well.
So that would make sense to me too.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like, hey, look at me, I've got my Mr. Universe body and then paper neck and this weird off-meds merman face. Like,
right.
It makes a bit more logic.
Indeed.
No offense to the creators. No offense.
None at all. None at all. They
give me a break.
They're
probably under extreme deadlines.
Exactly. Without you guys, we wouldn't have experienced this in our childhood.
That's right.
So definitely shout out to them. But just know the flaws have not gone ignored.
The belt, I can't get around the belt.
The flamulets,
the flamulets. We're gonna have our own set of vocab by the end of our motu 52.
The trash can lid for a shield.
Trash.
The parking brake for the sword.
Park brake, that's right. The park brake handle. He doesn't have a park brake handle. He just got the corn cob. Was he the only one with the corn cob?
Had the parking brake.
He doesn't on the design. Does he have it on the toy?
On the toy? On the sword?
No. Yeah.
The sword did have a park brake? Yeah. It looked.
Did he have it? Did he have a park brake handle?
Yeah, on the sword.
Oh, you're kidding. I'm going to have to do it now.
Look it up. Look it up.
I'm looking it up right now. I need to
on the
fact check
original
this one.
sword, he had a thin piece of plastic that would go across the knuckles.
Oh God, I made a mistake. I wrote Merman toy instead of Merman Master of the Universe. Now I can't unsee what I've seen. Motu toy. All right. Oh, you are correct.
It looks like a parking brake.
Now. Oh, yeah, he's got a parking brake. It's going to have to happen. So I'll have to, and it attaches to the heels.
Yeah.
Like so. That's going to have to. There we go. What are you doing, man? Look, the toy's even funkier. Like, look at the guy's face in the toy.
Absolutely.
So on the original drawing, he's got like armor, like gauntlets on his ankles, or I don't know what you'd call those on his calf.
Yeah, those are. I think they're called greaves.
Greaves, are they? Greaves?
Greaves with a V.
Greaves with a V, yeah.
Yeah.
But on the toy, it looks like it's made out of moss or something. But it's green like his body. So the toy's actually got.
I see what you're looking at. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the flemulets. It's supposed to be armor. It's supposed to be armor, but they get on painting that part.
He got cankulets. Like it's just part of his cankulets.
Cankulets. Oh man.
It's kind of merged in with the body. Like at least on the drawing, like you can see it's yellow, right? Look there, it's yellow. Yeah. And he's got a double little that makes sense to me. But the toy's gone with the whole cankulets. With the ankle and the calf becomes a cankle.
That's awesome.
Cankulets. Flamulets, cankulets. I think we need to write off to Mattel and let them know we might have made a few additions to your terminology. Yeah. Then we get the lawsuit, but anyway.
Oh man, the kangaroo.
But he's got mossy ones on the toy though. Interesting.
That's great.
And I never realized he only had 3 fingers.
Does he? Oh, he only has 3, and I gave him 5.
You've gone with the full, make him. Yeah, but does the later toy have 5?
You know what?
Let
me do a quick search.
Actually, no.
He really does. Wait, hold on. There's an image here. There's an image
Motu
here.
Classics Merman.
Let's see here. He has 3.
Got 3 fingers with little webbies.
That's right. He only has 3. Okay, so let's eliminate one of these fingers here.
I do love that he's not afraid to bare the toes. Like he's got the feet out, got the dogs out there for everyone to see. Like he's not afraid to rock out the toenails and the. But I suppose with your head like Merman, like what are you really worried about? Like you just whatever. If you're going to judge me on my toes when I got a head like this, like go for it.
Yeah,
It's the least of my worries. My toenails are the least of my worries.
He's got to be one of the more confident characters in the Master of the Universe.
It'd have to be. It'd have to be.
Let's see here. Let's cascade this hand a bit. Now that we got to compensate for.
Lucky we checked that before the paint hit the paper.
I'm telling you, that would have been embarrassing. That would have been embarrassing. All right. So let's cascade.
You would have to hide your head in the grotto. See, that was my ocean reference right there.
Round this out, and I think I'd have to move this knuckle over a bit.
Yes. All right. I love when you get a win.
Yeah, that feels better. So now let's make some adjustments over here.
There you got the nice Ninja Turtle grip on that trident now.
Yes.
Now that's a little property that'd be fun to do too.
Oh yeah, TMNT, absolutely. All over that.
Love to do a Bebop and Rocksteady. That'd be fun to draw.
Absolutely. Bebop, Rocksteady, some of the more obscure mutant characters. Mondo Gecko.
Yes. Leatherhead.
Leatherhead. Ground.
I love Krang. What was Krang's like android body dude? Like that always made me laugh.
Oh man,
he had that sort of from the cartoon.
It was like a big lumbering android body that
a big angry dude with sunglasses and
with sunglasses and a tuning fork.
And a hole in his stomach. He had a pinhead and a hole in his stomach where Krang's sat. It's just a bizarre design. I love it.
And his arms were positioned like, I don't know if you'll understand this reference, but here stateside, right? We have these like coat outfits,
right,
for small children, right? That tend to be overpacked to the point where they stay looking like stars.
Oh,
they can't bring their arms down.
Yes, they're like Parkers or wind cheaters. Is that what you call them? Those giant big, yeah. They can't. They're like little Michelin men. They can't put their arms down
because of all the stuffing in the coat.
Yes. Yeah, he did have arms like that.
He did have arms like that.
Can't put the hands in the pockets. It's just too tight. Too tight. Can't grab anything in front of you
at all. You'd have to.
But you could fall over and just land. You'd be right.
Yeah. You'd have to turn your whole upper torso.
Like the original Batman.
Like the Batman neck. Yeah.
The Batman movie neck. Yeah.
There we go. That's what we got. Get some of that water.
Make this sword a bit more menacing.
There we go. Let me zoom out a bit so that we can see that in its totality. So here is my merman.
All right, let's have a look. That's good, Kenny.
Done live, right?
I love it. I love the moss hanging off the edge of the trident there. That's cool.
Thank you. Like I'm gonna add more to this. I'm gonna add more things sort of like dangling off of the figure.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, so that I have more opportunity to add some shadows, right, to kind of obscure the silhouette a bit.
Yep.
And I'm gonna add some floating debris in the water.
Ooh.
Right?
Like what? What do you mean by that?
Like
natural things or things he's destroyed.
No, like natural things, like tree limbs, like things that you would find in like a swamp, right? Like dead tree limbs, maybe some lily pads, so that it feels like he is the alpha predator in this wilderness. Some of this going, and a bit of that. Right. Oh no. Well, it seems like we lost Will. But for those of you still here, this is my merman so far. So on the next stream that I do, I'm going to be blocking in some colors here just so that I can prep this for the gouache that I'm going to be using to color this. So what I'll be doing is laying in a little bit of an underpainting blocking in some of the flat colors, and then it seems Will's camera overheated. So, I'm sorry, as I was saying, I'm going to be doing a little bit of an underpainting here just so that I can sort of map out where my values are going to be so that, the overall color palette of this piece is going to be one that's a bit colder in comparison to the previous two. And it'll be really eye-catching with a lot of the yellows that'll be incorporated into Merman's color palette, right? And there he is.
I'm back. Sorry, my camera overheated.
No worries. No
Middle
worries.
of summer with lamps going.
No worries.
Yeah.
So I was just explaining to those that are still watching that on the next one I'm going to lay in a little bit of an underpainting.
Yeah.
Before blocking in some of my colors, and I feel like it'll make this painting a bit more robust in comparison to the others. Right?
Yes.
I'm leaning towards something that's a bit more opaque.
When cooler.
Yeah, and a lot.
So you're going to add some more opacity to your paints, making it thicker. Is that the plan?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot thicker. Definitely going to be a lot thicker because I want this one to sort of feel bold.
Yes.
With comparison to like the Beastman or the He-Man, because those were so much warmer, right?
Yeah.
Like I felt like it sort of lent itself to being a bit more transparent.
Yes. Yeah.
But this one I wanted to feel darker, so cooler, very bold, lots of blues, lots of purples, right? Lots of blacks. And then that's going to push all of the yellows in the piece forward and a lot of the glares reflecting off of the water.
Yeah, that's cool.
It'll definitely pop out.
So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to probably work in and refine the pencil work so that my gouache doesn't get too muddy when I start laying my colors in.
Yeah.
And the tricky thing, especially with the yellow, is you got to make sure that the pencil work you've got there is light, but it is where you want it to be, because whatever you've got down will probably tend to come through a little bit.
Oh yeah, 100% it'll come through. 100%, and it'll be too late to sort of kind of.
It'll be gone. It's locked in.
Yeah, pull out that graphite.
Yeah. So it's the lightening, getting a kneadable eraser and just lightening it all up, and just cleaning up where your line work's going to go.
So you know what? I might add the sword. I might, just kind of like on his back.
Yeah, the hilt.
Yeah. I might add the sword.
I think you should. You should do you could do it like the sword hilt with the parking brake.
Yeah.
And then you could do like a coral like sword sheath strap.
Yeah, cause I feel like I could
put the cob sheath
on the shoulder here.
Yes, I think that would work. Or you could have it hanging off your thigh, like a side sword.
Ooh, like off the
belt. So you got your hilt sort of sneaking out from around the corner.
So like in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, then I'm gonna put it on the back. I feel like I have like this shoulder is leaning forward enough to where I can reveal something on his back.
Yes.
Yes, we're going to add the corn sword on his back.
The sword of corn. Not Excalibur, everybody. It's the sword of corn.
The sword of corn.
Again, no offense to the people that created these stories. Enriching our childhood and
Indeed.
Made us the people that we are today.
Indeed. And creativity allows for, some suspension of belief.
Yes.
The strongest weapon in the universe.
And then this poor guy that's carrying around the corn sword. Like, you've got He-Man's sword and skeleton, and then this guy. Like, no respect for the corn sword.
His only weakness, butter.
He's like the side dish. He's the side dish of the Master of the Universe. He goes with a meal. He's not the meal.
No. He's definitely the side dish.
But essential. Like,
yes.
But having him in the newer cartoon, which I didn't really enjoy the newer cartoon, I've got to admit, but his battle in the icy water, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. No,
With his little fish henchmen.
Yeah, like they definitely like moved away from the goon element from the OG cartoon.
Like even Beastman had a brain. Like he wasn't as bumbling the okay boss kind of look, He actually had a brain in his head.
Yeah, he wasn't a buffoon.
I didn't like what they did with the mech stuff. I didn't like the techno stuff that was infecting Triclops and Trapjaw and I didn't like that. I didn't. I wanted them to explore those heroes and villains a bit better.
Yeah. I feel like they could have if they were given enough time to sort of like lean into that.
Yeah. I just wanted it a bit more, I guess, than I got. And that's probably just a selfish part of the fanboy in me, but less Teela and more the others. Like give me.
I don't even think that's selfish. I mean, I think that it's definitely warranted, considering that, that IP is so rich.
Yes.
In characters, right? And so very few opportunities. We haven't had many opportunities to like really explore backstories or like how certain characters came to be outside of like that one in the newer He-Man series where they go into Skeletor's backstory, which was phenomenal.
That was a good series. I enjoyed
it. It was.
But like, God, wouldn't you just wish for someone to have a big budget sort of Game of Thrones sort of series on telly with it? Like that would be amazing.
Because I would like to see how Skeletor was able to amass this group, because they all feel like they're all of different races in Eternia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how is he able to sort of like recruit these guys? I would like to see that.
And some of them have their own kingdoms.
There you go.
Like, why do they need him? What were they promised?
Exactly. Because maybe Skeletor was like a tyrant or a warlord that wanted to unite these different kingdoms under his one banner to take over Grayskull.
Netflix and Mattel, if you're listening, Kenny and I are open to be hired as consultants and art direction.
Indeed. No more corn.
We know the way. The way is no corn. And no flammulets.
No flammulets. You know,
no,
you gotta go
no
all the way.
canklets.
All the
No
way.
canklets.
No canklets, flammulets, parking
None of
brakes. You gotta go all the way. You gotta leave.
I don't know. I think I'd want to squeeze a parking brake in there. That'd be a nice fan giveaway.
You know what I mean? Like, I would love to see them explore that.
Yes.
Because I know that, you know, a lot of the cartoon shows that were done in the 80s that, you know, that we grew up loving were really just extended toy commercials.
Correct.
You know, however, you know, if you're going to do a remake of such a beloved and well-known IP, especially for fans of that IP that are now adults,
Yes.
you know, we're going to want a little more substance.
Yep. I agree. Not that I didn't love those extended toy commercials, like Centurions and next episode on Cops.
You know, that was such a good show. I love that show.
And fun animation.
Yep.
The rock and roll to the intros. That were all fun.
So good. So good. Man, I think we could probably do a stream on some of the famous or I guess well-known mecha.
Yes.
Voltron.
I love Voltron.
Uh,
Still yet to see a good rendition of Voltron, like in terms of art.
I agree.
I think I shared with you one that was done that kind of lacked a bit of energy.
Yes.
Very stiff.
Yes. What's another? Well, Optimus Prime for sure. Like anything Transformers is definitely a go.
Robotech.
Yes.
What else?
GoBots was a little bit of a rip.
GoBots.
You remember the GoBots?
Transformers. Yeah, the poor man's Transformers.
Poor man's Transformers.
It was kind of like the Battlestar Galactica of Star Wars, wasn't it? Like, like what are you doing? Is it a race? He's trying to get it out early. GoBots. I remember watching the movie, like thinking, "What is this? Like, what are we doing here?" Like, I want to like this. I want to like the little motorcycle dude. I want to like this, but I don't know.
I think the motorcycle character, the villain, was probably the design that I hated the most because it looked like he had a 5 o'clock shadow.
He just had a rough night out the night before.
His head was the headlight to the motorcycle, and he had a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yes. He just got home that morning from being out all night, straight into battle.
You know, like how do you win a fight against a jet? You know what I'm saying? Like
you can't.
You can't.
Do you know what we should do? We should move our drawing challenge to a different day and replace today's one with a Saturday morning cartoon running on a Saturday morning.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
And we could do our own Saturday morning cartoon of the week.
I like that. You know, bounce around to different eras?
Yeah.
I like that.
Sure.
Let's see here. Let's clean this little piece of armor up here. I like that. I had this talk with Melissa the other day about like some of the Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, yes.
One of the things that I absolutely love about my fiance is that she's such a goofball, right? And she remembers a lot of the commercial jingles that would come in between the shows, right?
Nice.
Like and then she'll like perform it like you.
That's great.
And I have to look. I don't know all I can do is just like look at her very endearingly, like you're such a goofball, but I love you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She
This is the part
remembers.
I love the most. Yeah.
Yeah, she remembers all of the jingles.
That's great.
All of the jingles that used to come on, and then
Does she have a favorite Does she have a favorite Saturday morning cartoon?
man, I think it's Strawberry Shortcake.
Oh yes, yep.
Strawberry Shortcake was her jam. What was another one? There was another one that she mentioned to me that she used to watch a lot. But for sure, I know Strawberry Shortcake was her thing.
My wife's was Gummy Bears.
Ooh, Gummy Bears.
Yeah, there you go. I do you know the song?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gummy Bears was awesome. Saturday morning, man.
Gargoyles. That was good too, wasn't it? The Gargoyles series.
Gargoyles used to come on during the week for me.
Did it?
And like it was like because in when I lived in New York, after school, we had like this 3-hour block of just Disney cartoons.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it was Gummy Bears, it was Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Oh yes.
Tailspin,
Darkwing Duck,
Darkwing Duck, DuckTales. And there's one more that I'm forgetting. And Gargoyles. Or did I say Gargoyles? I think I said Gargoyles already. But yeah, and then like right after they would wrap up that block, they would play the Adam West Batman.
Oh, nice. The 66 Batman. Nice.
Yes. They would go right into Adam West Batman, and then like it was the news, and then primetime TV.
Nice. Now we actually had a Saturday morning Disney show.
Nice.
And that would have, they'd show them all. Yeah, super fun.
Man, I think what I absolutely loved was I don't know if you remember the Marvel Hour, where it was Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they'd follow it up with the Hulk.
Wait, the old one, the one where it's all like curvy art.
Yeah, the old one.
Bruce Banner, those ones.
and like it was Spider-Man, Iceman for some reason, and Firestar.
Yes.
And
then they had that. Like, it was funny. Those cartoons still make me laugh.
Yeah.
Those early ones. The Kirby animated ones.
Those were good. Those were really good.
Thor, Submariner.
Ooh, yeah.
Captain America. The Iron Man one was good. It had a good voiceover with the Iron Man one.
Yeah, the Iron Man one was really good. I think after the Bill Bixby TV show, Lou Ferrigno voiced every animated version of the Hulk.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he voiced the Hulk like in every animated show moving forward.
I love that he's still kicking around too. Old Lou Ferrigno.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we're in good shape here. We'll push this into a little bit of shadow. All right, so we'll pull Merman's face a bit forward. Push this set of fins into the back. So we'll have, a little bit of a transition when we get to color in the face. All right.
She thinnies.
Yeah, and then I think we're in good shape. So
now,
good. Yep. On the next one, I think I'm just gonna lay in like a very simple underpainting.
Yep.
With like a blue or a purple,
Nice.
and then start blocking things in with some gouache. Because I'm looking at it, and yeah, I think I'm ready to move on to the next phase.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to the same. I'm going to just do detail this tentacle that's flipping around his in and out of the water a bit.
Very cool.
And because I want that real red tentacle octopus creature from the mini comics, and that'll be a nice contrast to the green.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Nice opposite to it.
Yeah.
And then in the shadows of the swamp, I'm going to put a little bit of tinted purple in the shadows, in the reflection shadows,
I like
to offset the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
That pushes that forward too. So I'm going to try and use the tentacle as like a framing device of him.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of the edge of the image.
Great idea.
Without doing too much.
Yeah.
Minimal background.
I like it.
But I think we're good for today, I reckon, for me.
Yeah.
Might do a little bit of whitewash on the edge because I've got him coming out of the water. So it's have a little bit of whitewash water on the edge of the beach here.
Yeah.
Standing on the wet sand.
I dig it.
Yeah, man.
That face. I really like that face.
Off Med's Merman. Yeah. Give me the child.
With the dilated pupils.
That's right.
Off Med's Merman.
Can't be trusted.
Oh,
unpredictable at parties and family gatherings. He's the Christmas event that no one wanted.
I have the coin.
You couldn't even bring napkins, could you? You just brought your off-med self. Can't be trusted to do anything, honestly. And you parked badly in the car park, in the driveway, and you blocked everyone in. Good job, off-med's Merman. Good job. Yells out stuff inappropriately.
Oh, that's great.
Has an argument with off Med's Nana Merman. You know, like it's just everything's inappropriate.
Oh man.
All right, so I think we're good for today, Kenny.
Yep.
And so next chapter we are putting in our colors. You're going to do your underlays.
Yep.
And I'll do the same. What's on for you for this week? What are we going to expect to see out of the art of Kenny Calder on a Wild Ink Studios?
I'm going to be dropping some of the recent commissions that I've been sitting on, like because there's a lot of artwork that I haven't posted that I've done over the course of the past, I'd say month and a half.
Yep.
So I'll be slowly putting those out on Instagram and on Facebook.
Nice.
Let's see what else we got. We got some more Marvel cards coming down the pipeline. I'm going to be posting all of the artist proofs that I've done for the Marvel Premiere set. What else do we got?
Where can they buy the Premiere sets? Just remind everyone.
So the Premiere sets can be purchased anywhere you'll find like sport cards, non-sport cards, hobby shops, right? Because they're not available everywhere, but your chances of coming up on one of those sets from Upper Deck that have a traditional hand-drawn sketch card by one of the artists that they invited, you'll most likely find those in shops where they sell trading cards, like hobby shops and such.
Nice. And if you are at a convention, are you selling these cards as box sets as well, or just your own ones?
I only will have the artist proofs that I still have, right? That are pre-made, right? So I still have a few of those. You can find some of the cards that I've illustrated on eBay. I had a client and a good friend of mine recently shoot me a text message saying that he purchased one of my I think it was a Quicksilver card that I did for Marvel Anime.
Nice.
He found it on eBay for a good price. So
cool.
yeah, it was really like it was kind of jarring because like it was unexpected.
eBay.
eBay, yeah.
Now I've made it, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. So if you simply just punch in Kenny Calderon on your eBay search bar, a bunch of the stuff that that I've done for Upper Deck will pop up, along with I think a couple of the books that I've illustrated will appear up there, and some of the sketch like comic book sketch covers that I've done are also up there. What else? I got some art that will be going up on the Etsy shop, some art that will be going up on Whatnot.
Yep.
All right. The Whatnot is always going to be available by simply going to at Wildings Ken on Instagram and going into the link. You'll be taken to the link tree where it's got all of my social connections there, the YouTube, the Whatnot, Etsy shop, and so forth. So by going into Instagram, which is on your screen below my name, those two Instagram handles, you'll be connected with everything else.
Very cool. Excellent. So for us, in between here and next week, we are also releasing some more of the Gods and Monsters series. So we just put up Doctor Doom last week.
Nice, which came out excellent.
Thanks, man. That was took a bit tricky. The green was mucking around with me a little bit, the Viridian green.
Yeah.
But so working on Mr. Fantastic this week, and that's going up.
Oof.
And yeah. So we're working through that series slowly, but they're going up on the Etsy shop as we are creating them.
Mm-hmm.
And we are having a sale of Series 1 artwork in the next couple of weeks. So stay posted. There you go.
Beautiful.
All right. So everyone, thanks for joining us, and we are going to see you next week. And get your pencils ready. Draw along with our merman, or catch up with your merman during the week. And we can paint together next week. So we are using gouache, and the colors I'm using is a cool yellow. I'll be using a Prussian blue, perhaps, and you're using a cerulean, aren't you, Kenny?
Yep.
A
little bit of cerulean blue, some teal, lemon yellow. And for my backgrounds, I think I'm going to use like some violets, definitely some blacks, some cobalt blue, right? So that remains really reds. Yeah, absolutely
perfect, excellent. So we're using more of the cool palette next week on our merman. So we'll see you then. Join us at the same time, and have a good week, everyone.
And Happy New Year if you're on the in the States.
That's right. And this is our last one for the year. So we'll see you in the future. Okay. Bye-bye.
Be well.